All right, welcome in everybody to the Philly Guy Speaks here on this Saturday morning from Las Vegas. I am here not far from Allegiant Stadium, and I am here for Super Bowl 58. At least I think I can call it Super Bowl 58 because I'm not selling anything. So if not, big game. Okay, pretend we edited that out, even though I'm not. But welcome in everybody. Joe Quill's here with you. Towards the end of the show here, I will give you some plays that I'm going to play this weekend here in Vegas, as we crown a champion on Sunday evening here in Las Vegas. I'm here today, or the last few days. I've worked Radio Row for the first time this year. And, thanks to the Tony Bruno Sports Network and Bleacher Brothers for allowing me and getting me the credentials to be there on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And got some cool picks. The Twitch stream that I had during the week did not go as planned. I was hoping that not everybody would be on the MGM Wi-Fi. Because we lost connection about 3 or 4 times and the whole video wasn't up. So, whoever it was that was watching, I do apologize that it's choppy and only got to a part of it. But just wanted to show what was going on there, all the different tables and everything that was going on there. But it was a blast and a lot of work though. And got to expand my horizons a little bit as well. Because I was on the, I was doing work on there during those 3 days that I was there. Wednesday, I did some camera work, and they have everything all set up, so it's just like, okay, well, it's just Tony and Angel Martinez, so go to this camera. Okay, we have one guest, so go to this camera, and we got 2 guests here, so let's go to the wide shot. So, that's what I was doing the first day for the most part. Did that the last couple of hours, and I was wandering around and stuff like that, getting to see what was going on. And Thursday morning, I did a little more camera work by let AJ know, and I let Miss Robin Austin know that I was disappearing at 2 o'clock, which I did, 2 o'clock Vegas time, because I ran up to the Westgate, which is from where we were at Mandalay Bay. I'm staying at the Excalibur. It's the opposite end of the strip. So, went to take the tram up, took the tram back, and, next thing you know, it was 4 o'clock. So, because me, walking back and forth all day, my legs are hurting because I've walked, I think, 25 miles in the last 3 days. I think before I got here, I think I walked 25 miles in the last month combined. But, that's the life of somebody who's working from home. So, a lot of fun here. Got to see Tony talk to a lot of celebrities, sports, a lot of athletes, legends, whatever you want to call them. A lot of them were pitching stuff, and a lot of fun things here. I mean, even thanks to Duncan Daddy, introduced me to Andrew Perloff, aka McLovin, from the Dan Patrick Show. He now has his own show on CBS Radio. So good to see the Philly adjacent guy, because he says he's a Philly guy, but I bust his balls a little bit in fun. And he knew I was joking around, at least I hope he did, that he was the Philly adjacent guy. I'm the Philly guy, because I said, you were in Lower Merion. That's technically not Philly. I mean, because Philadelphia is Philadelphia County, and Lower Merion is Montgomery County. And, it's like, all right, I kind of cut you some slack, but, people that tell me, oh, I'm from Exton. Exton's nowhere near Philly. It's like 30 miles away. I kind of say, I'm the type of stickler where you tell me, oh, I'm from Doylestown. Like I had one female tell me that when she was trying to pitch the Caesars app to me a few years ago. I said, I might even had the same shirt on, because I am recording this on video to YouTube as well. We're just not doing a live stream here tonight or this morning. And I might have even had this particular shirt on. And, or if it was either that or I had a Philly shirt on, because I'm always repping Philadelphia here. Just not as much because of the fact that the Super Bowl is San Francisco and Kansas City. Should have been the Eagles, but they crapped the bed after they beat Buffalo. And San Francisco showed the flaws in the Eagles system, or exploited them immensely. And then week after week, it just got worse and worse. But enough about that. We're not talking about that. But, it's just interesting to be out here. And, probably next year, if I do the Radio Row thing again, and, year after year, it'll probably be based on two things. Does Tony go down? Because, he is 71 years old. He's going to be 72 in June. So, you don't know how many years you have left. And, I'm not trying to be morbid or anything, but, facts are facts. But, and also, Bleacher Brothers, will they get a table at the Super Bowl? And it's all also contingent upon my job, because I got lucky enough that when we went through the vacation process of the vacation process at work, selecting vacations, and we select late November, beginning of December, and I think it was like the beginning of December this year. And I told the clerk that does all the administrative stuff with vacations, I said, I'm on vacation, but call me. I don't want to hold anybody up, for something stupid, So, so I got lucky. Got 2 weeks back to back, and I think this is the second time in 25 years I did 2 weekends in a row. And I know the last time I did it, when I did it, I said, you know what? What's my ID again? What's my, and, because, back then we had a different way of logging into the system, but I couldn't remember even my username, because, it's all repetition. And, after a while, you're just like, I don't even know what to, I don't know what to do with that, And, but now we have a different way of logging in. It's easier. And, just hopefully I'll remember my login password when I log in next Monday, 9 days from now, when I'm back to work on, President's Day. So, but I still got 5 days here, just taking it easy. And the one thing I say is, if any of my Vegas friends watch this video or listen to this, my Vegas trips are basically, I'm going to gamble a little bit, and if I end up meeting somebody, especially free for all show people, I will basically say, and these are the rules. I'm here. If you can't do anything, that's fine. I'm not the type of person that's going to say, hey, I'm here, let's get together. It's just, I just don't, there's more important things in life, because you got families, you got kids, you got this, you got that. Don't change your plans just because of me. That's just the way that I am, but if we meet up, great. And if not, it's not the end of the world. I think after a while you realize there's much more important things in life than inconveniencing somebody just to say hello to somebody. So, but that's what I would say to everybody here. And if they see this video later today on Saturday, during the day, I should say, because of the fact that, if they see it on Saturday or they see it while I'm still here, if we get together, great. If not, it's not that big of a deal, even though I do want to say hello to some people because it's been a while. And, we interact on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. And, they got to deal with my goofy ass stuff that I post on there. And I still have a couple of things I have to post yet. One of them is going to be, I think it's going to be hilarious. But, the thing is, me when it comes to jokes. The first thing I will tell you is a groan is as good as a laugh. Because a groan to me means you understood the joke, no matter how creative or bad the joke is, you got the joke. The worst thing that could happen is crickets. And, there's a lot of times where I've heard the crickets big time with my jokes. So, so I do have a couple of pictures that were from Thursday's party that we went to. They wanted to go to a party last night, and I just didn't even respond to them. I was like, screw you guys, I'm tired. You guys, you're more party animals than I am. I'm tired, too tired. And my legs were hurting, and they still hurt today. They're probably going to hurt until I get home on Thursday. But, a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm going to keep it to Super Bowl stuff here in Vegas. I'll recap my 3 days here, and I'll give you my picks here. I'm not going to make this a long episode here, but then again, every time I say that this isn't going to be a long episode, I look at the clock on the one program that I use, and I see that it's 2.5 hours. So, those things happen from time to time, but I did talk to Angel Martinez. He runs Broad Street South, and I said, listen, I'm working on a couple of different things here. I know we agreed to the podcast and stuff because, he says a lot of people stop podcasting because the season's over. Me, I go year round because, there's always a topic I can talk about, joke around with a couple of things, Eventually, I'm thinking about adding a co-host and who knows, maybe even a second co-host, because I have things in mind. It's just that one is equipment because I want to upgrade some equipment in regards to dedicated just to the podcast, and also just making sure everything's top notch. I'm not that big on doing things like that, but just make things look interesting so that everybody can enjoy. And if somebody catches the eye, say, hey, we need this guy on we need his podcast. We can tweak things around, whatever. We can even change the name. I don't care. But, I believe that, even though I'm a little older than those that are getting into the digital journalism like we did with 2 interns that we had from UNLV this week, just try to, one thing I tell them is get your stuff out there and, get that stuff on your resume, on your LinkedIn, whatever, because guess what? You're going to get a lot of eyes, and the more eyes you can attract, the better. And if you look more towards the long term than the short term, you'll be fine. But but I got my real job, and hey, if it's a career changer, then hey, I'm out. But until then, I'm working my real job, and got to take vacation time to do a passion project like this is, even though my legs hurt like hell right now. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I figured out how to get from Excalibur, where I'm staying, to Mandalay Bay without going outside, which is a good thing, especially this week. And it's a good thing, especially when the summer comes around, when it's about 120 here. But, so Wednesday, got in there, said hello to everybody. Some people I never met before in person. Some like our interns, I didn't know at all, obviously. But it was a lot of fun. Tony had guests here. He had most of his shows here this week. Pete Shepard, Angel Martinez was here, but he was hopping on Tony's show. Bleacher Brothers were here. Dave Benz, I think, was here. But Bleacher Brothers, you just go to their website. They're going back to their regular schedule on Monday. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Got to meet people. Also, just to let you know before we get to the next part here, if you're looking for my podcast, my articles, Quills Picks Winners on BleacherBrothers.com, taking a bit of a hiatus. Definitely taking the weekend off. We'll see what happens with Monday. I may come back on Tuesday or may not be until Friday. Because I think the one thing AJ doesn't realize is, it doesn't take that much work. I just look for the race on the daily racing form. I pull it up and boom, start looking at it. And, it takes me about half an hour, and probably I should be taking a little more time because I am on a cold streak, and that's probably a good time to take a break here. Now, to let you behind the curtain a little bit, I don't always bet on every race. Sometimes it's because I'm working, I get sidetracked, or, it's like, oh, it's rent week. And like I tell you, the bills are more important than gambling. This is a nice thing to do as a hobby. Try to augment your money. Try not to lose all of it. But make sure your bills are paid up first. 1-800-GAMBLER, blah, blah, blah. But first thing AJ told me was no articles this weekend. I'm like, okay. And it sucks because today you have the Sam F. Davis, which is a Kentucky Derby prep at Tampa Bay Downs. I may watch it. I may wager it. I don't know. But it's all going to be, should be an interesting race because you got a full field of 12 going in that race. But I may even play Los Alamitos tonight because I can't play Los Alamitos in Pennsylvania because we're not allowed to bet on quarter horses or Arabians. It's just thoroughbreds and harness horses. So I might dabble in that tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But either way, we do have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So Wednesday, I got a picture with somebody, but I forget who it was. Because, I wasn't going to every single person and saying, hey, can I get a picture? Wednesday was Greg Papa, the play-by-play announcer of the San Francisco 49ers. And I wanted a picture with him because his brother was Gary Papa, who passed away from prostate cancer about 15 years ago, maybe a little more than that. So, good dude. Thursday, so Greg Papa was on the show, a couple others, the days blend. So, so Thursday came here, but I let them know ahead of time, hey, I got to get material for Friday's Bleacher Brothers show. Now, the plan was I was going to be on there, but I did not get on there because I ended up doing audio for Tony Bruno Sports Network all day, or all day once I got there. So he had a couple of people in there. I missed Wayne Newton somehow, and walked around a little bit. Did that stream on Twitch, which fell apart. I should have recorded it first and then went around. But, oh, and one thing about Wednesday. First athlete I see that I recognized. And I see this big black guy. And I know that's racist. That's the only way I can describe him, okay? husky build, blah, blah, blah. And I go and I'm trying to text AJ, and then I eventually called him and, give me lay of land, blah, 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 play action, real, answer this phone, whatever. But once I heard, oh, I'm by the Starbucks, blah, 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 it was down to McNabb. Now, my case, I'm different from most people because, at least I think so, it goes like, hey, Donovan, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. Me, personally, for the most part, maybe I'll say, hey, how's it going, Donovan, blah, 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 something like that. And I heard some things about Donovan McNabb while I was with our guys, and, whatever. I believe it's how you introduce yourself. And Play Action Reel was talking to him and the third string quarterback for the Giants, his agent. I'm the type of person where I believe I don't want to ruin my first impression of you. I don't want you to come to me and be a total ass. And part of the reason why is I don't want you to ruin that feeling that I have about you. And also, I don't want to say, I don't want to be thinking after the fact and saying, oh, was it just a bad day that I caught him on? And he was on the phone anyway. So I was, when I first saw him. So I'm not going to say, hey, Donovan, how's it going? I'm the type of person, hey, you're on the phone? I mean, I'm the firm believer that if you're on the phone with me, I'm not going to, going to try to say, excuse me for 1 second, something like that. I'm not going to interrupt him. So I saw him Thursday morning. I saw Warren Sapp, and there was a couple of athletes who were late for interviews, and the line for the day passes were out the door on Thursday morning. But it took me like almost an hour to get from my room to get my day pass to get to the Radio Row room. That took forever. And Thursday had a couple of people there. I forget who they are. Did get a picture with McLovin, a.k.a. Also known as Andrew Perloff, who used to be on the Dan Patrick Show, has his own show on CBS Radio. I go joking around with him that, dude, you're not a Philly guy. You're from Lower Merion. But, just joking around, having some fun, good dude. Got a picture with him. And I titled it The Philly Guy with the Philly Adjacent Guy. Kind of like a little thing with Tony Bruno where he goes to describe the LA Angels, LA Adjacent, Orange County Angels, whatever he says. But, there were a couple of guests on Thursday's show. I ran up to Westgate to get some material for the Friday show, which I was not even on. I don't even know what they talked about. I know Stadium Food Girl was there. I wanted to say hi to her. Didn't see her. Well, I saw her, but I couldn't get away. And then Friday came in, and I handled the audio the whole day. And, there were a couple of minor blips, and I even got to talk a little bit on Tony's show. And, I said, hey, Tony, I know you're drawing me in every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm just going to be here. I'm going to make sure your sound is working. I'll occasionally screw up because of the fact that, I don't know what I'm doing here yet. I'm not the seasoned professional, but I did an okay job. But, some people, they may butter me up and say, oh, you did a great job. I'm my own worst critic. And, like I always say to you guys, I am always up for constructive criticism. And if you're watching this video right over there, Joe at BleacherBrothers.com, you can hit me up, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Joe Quills. Actually, almost all my social media is at Joe Quills. So we did that. Friday was a cavalcade of celebrities and stars. I walked in. He was mid-interview with Bert Kreischer, Michael Irvin. There were a couple other ones. There was the MMA/boxer, Clarice, I think her name was. I forget her name. And then there was a couple more. Britton Covey was there. I'm not sure if that was Thursday or Friday. The days are blending. And then Tony closed out his extravaganza with Kevin Harlan like he did the whole time. That was my picture of the day. And, I'm not going after everybody. Hey, who, and, it turns into who the F is that guy. So I'm just trying to, got a couple of things here. I got my 3-day passes that are going to be part of my collection because, I could say, hey, I worked Radio Row, even if this is just a one-time thing, because it's all about vacation. So, but yeah, it's a lot. It's been a lot of fun here, and I'll tell you what, I mean, even though it's a lot of work, I would love to do it again. And who knows, maybe next year, maybe if my show goes live and it ends up on the Tony Bruno Sports Network, and we can have dreams, we can have goals, and I'm just happy with what I have. But even though I'm happy with what I have goals, and everybody else should have. And my goal, and especially if you want to look at my article from the beginning of the year, you can say, hey, you can read that and see, hey, I want to expand my brand. I want to expand the Bleacher Brothers brand. I want to expand the Tony Bruno brand. I'm going to do my part to expand it, even if it's just my little niche of what's going on. So that's what I would like to do. And, I got to experience this firsthand, and, I would love to go to New Orleans. Probably won't do a 2-week vacation. Make sure I get the week leading up to the Super Bowl, and probably leave on Saturday. Won't be as much air miles going to New Orleans next year if that happens. And then the next 2 years is San Francisco or Santa Clara, and then LA. So be interesting to see what happens with me over the next couple of years, because I would love to do this again. And who knows, maybe I do my own show. I mean, that would be a great thing, and maybe that happens. And if not, that's fine as well. Just to be part of the team, And the one thing I will say is, you may see Tony's tweets and say, oh, God, he's tweeting everything. But you got to understand the person. Once you get into his family, his familia, you get to know them. You become great friends with them. And we have a great group between Tony Bruno's Sports Network and Bleacher Brothers and everything. So we are one united group of 10, 15, 20 people, however many it is. And it's a lot of fun. And I hope that if you are deeper in the communications industry than I am, you do get to experience Radio Row at least once in your lifetime, because I had a lot of fun. Got to see a lot of people. I got to see Gronk's press conference on Wednesday. That's something I saw as well. And by the way, if you're watching or listening to this, the kick is going to be between the national anthem and the coin toss. They go to a live commercial, and they're going to have it there. So I'm Team Miss, but he said he's been making a ton of field goals. So we'll see what happens. Things happen where you choke, or you're bigger than the moment, or you're up to the moment. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and hopefully, I really hope we get to do it again. Also, knock out something that I wanted to do if I did not come here this week. One thing I was going to do, even if it was on my dime, was I was going to go to the fairgrounds next weekend. Get a fan's perspective of, I think it's the Risen Star that's next weekend. But whatever race I think it is the Risen Star. Just to experience the fan experience of being at the fairgrounds on a Kentucky Derby prep race day. That was the original plan, and they said, hey, we can get you a day pass. I'm like, I'm in. So that's why I took 2 weeks just so that I can get everything under control. And so yeah, I did stall there because we're at the 30-minute mark here, video wise, and I wanted to make sure it would still record. So, but yeah, so if you're going to be, if you're in the industry, and we're going every year, we get more and more into digital, and the old way we do music is not the same. The radio stations now, many conglomerates are losing money. Best thing I can say is, if you're digital and you want to do something like this, I say, even if you just experience once in your lifetime, I say do it. But I'll warn you, it is a lot of work. So, but that friendship I have with Tony Bruno has paid off, and hopefully, maybe I get to do something like this in the future, even if it's just behind the scenes. And I'm happy with that. I don't need to be in the spotlight, but if I'm in the spotlight, then so be it. I can handle it. So, and also we went to that party on Thursday night. We went to the Michael Irvin Babes in Toyland party at the Sahara. And, we were hanging around there, and it was so cold that night, and it was all outdoors. And I don't think they realized when they did these when they planned these parties that it does get cold in Vegas. And I've been here when it was colder, like barely above 30 degrees in the middle of the day, and I'm dressed like it's 10 degrees because my body's not used to it. And and also with me working from home and not getting outside that much, it was all, a lot of the stuff was outside, and there was no way I was going to be there and do all that. So I was just like, whatever. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And Tony was pointing out, you see all these ladies here, you see that one with the extremely fake boobs and stuff like that. They're paid to be here, and you can tell how happy they'd be there because it was so damn cold. And then if you saw my tweet and my comment, I'm not sure if I posted as a picture, but I definitely posted as an Insta story, which ended up in my Facebook stories. They did have a camel there, and this party with Michael Irvin was with Bonnie Jill Laughlin. She ran it because I forget what it was, I think is a lawyer or something like that, but Bonnie Jill, former cheerleader, also she was the first female scout in the NBA. She was with the Lakers for 15 years, FHM model. I mean, you can look it up, but she's an animal activist and stuff like that. And they had a camel there. Now, the reason for the camel, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the fact, let's do something extravagant, and since we're in the desert and blah, blah, blah. But I got my picture with the camel, and I go joking around the next day because we do joke around that we're the 4th or 5th most popular show in Kuwait. Tony Bruno ran with it because Miss Robin keeps track of all the stats and stuff like that, stuff like that. But he was number 5 in Kuwait for a particular period of time, so we both ran with it. And I go joking around that camel is the camel that we are backing in the Kuwaiti Derby, which and I go joking around saying, I said that, be careful, shake my boobies in the morning. We're coming for you. We're coming for that number 1 spot. So, just some of the goofy stuff I do. And, there's a post like Greg Papa, McLovin, Kevin Harlan, who I got a picture with on Friday. Those pictures, they are the professional wholesome, whatever you want to call it. And then you got me posting every once in a while, shake my boobies in the morning, that sort of thing. And, but you know me, I'm going to joke around, but I'm also going to be serious as well. It's just, it's there to give you guys a laugh and also give you guys some, give you guys an opportunity to see what's been going on while I'm out here. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And last night, the New Orleans committee had a party at the Luxor. I just didn't even respond. I was too tired, and I ran back up to the Superbook. I got my account settled. I needed to have my login fixed, so I'm ready to go with that. It's just I need to figure out the Play Plus problem I'm having right now. But whatever it is, we'll get you some picks here for the weekend. And I'm going for this week, and this week only, I'm going with the Westgate Superbook. And it's 40, I think it's like 42 pages altogether. And, and these lines may have changed a little bit from when this was actually printed. I'm looking to see when this was last updated, and I don't see anything here, so... but I'll give you a couple of props I'm going to mention here as we get to the Philly Phade, and each one of these props is going to be one unit. Now, if you follow me on Pickit, which is Pikkit on your cell phone, one thing I will tell you guys is everything will be one unit here, and if you're on Pickit, my unit value is one unit is $25. Now, I'm probably not going to bet even that much on one particular wager on Sunday. May not even do that today. It's a matter of money. And, like I always say, bet within your means, not going over at 1-800-GAMBLER, blah, blah, blah. As I am... looking at a couple of different things on my phone here because I saw a Discord thing because I was talking to SJ, but nothing really too serious going on right now. So going through the props here, I circled a couple of things here. First thing I looked at here, and this was page 3 of the propositions, and one thing I have to warn you is the ladies of the night on the street, they do use bad English. Their sentences end in propositions. Anyways, had to say it, but anyways, just some picks here I have for you here. One thing that I liked here, and these are the ones that are going to be on record for the Philly Phade here. Now, I will say this. Westgate Superbook, Harrah's, where I haven't walked into yet, I probably won't because my legs are killing me. And BetMGM has their own book as well, which I haven't gone through yet. And they actually have it as a booklet as opposed to the presentation is easier for me because let's say, you remember when we had newspapers, you take the newspaper in the bathroom while you're taking a dump and you're like, okay, blah, 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 blah. But anyways, I'm looking at this, so, a couple of different things I saw here, and I may be playing them, I may not be playing them, whatever. But first thing I'm looking at is the shortest touchdown of the game. And I'm going to say over 1.5 yards. And that is at plus 140 according to the sheet. And it may change. It may have changed between then and now, and so be it. And I could look it up on the app. I'm just going by what's on here because it's easy for me to transfer and keep records of it going on. So, so there are a couple of stipulations on this wager, and because you have to have, like, this is what happens if it's a refund. This is what happens if this happens and that happens. So the caveats that are on here is if no touchdowns are scored, all bets are refunded. If a fumble is recovered in the end zone, the under is a winner. So, if any of that stuff happens. But I just get the feeling that the shortest touchdown is probably going to be 4 or 5 yards. I don't see I don't see a tush push type play in the Super Bowl. I know that Patrick Mahomes doesn't do quarterback sneaks after that knee injury a couple years ago. And San Francisco has too many weapons where they can, send a guy in motion one way, send one guy another way, whatever, all the different motions that they do here. So I think that's going to be over 1.5 yards. So plus 140 on that. Next wager. I mean, one that I looked at here, don't know if I circled it, is the overtime. Because I'd like to take that wager just as, because it pays so well. No, I did not circle it, but according to this, will there be overtime? A yes wager is plus 900 according to this. So get 9-1 odds. And remember, I got to talk on the Tony Bruno show, Tony Bruno Sports Network, and they were talking to Greg Papa. I'd let them know what the rules are for overtime in the playoffs because each team gets one possession. And they were talking about they were saying about double overtime and stuff like that. And the one thing I said was, let's say one team has a possession for 10 minutes. They're not going to say, oh, you only got 5 minutes to score to answer them back. Because in the playoffs, you can go on until next Tuesday. But you do have, each team has to have a full possession. Now, whether that full possession is holding onto the ball and fumbling or, having the ball for 10 minutes because, with the way overtime is, I said there's a possibility if you have an overtime, your scenario of double overtime will happen because each team has to have a possession. And then on top of that, if somebody holds the ball for 10 minutes, this isn't like the regular season where it's 10 minutes, and if you get the ball back with under a minute left, like which almost happened to the Eagles a couple of years ago when they played Dallas and that game went to overtime, you're just SOL by getting the ball back with a minute left. That's why I said that ties are going to be a prevalent thing in the NFL. Hasn't happened the last year or two, but it's going to happen again. But I really feel like there is going to be, if there is an overtime situation, it's possibly could be double overtime because of the fact that both teams have to have a possession. Call it the Josh Allen rule because, he didn't get the ball in overtime. Well, my opinion, sucks to be you, even though it is something that, just didn't happen in the in terms of that game because it was the greatest finish to a playoff game in history because they scored like 30 points in the final 2 minutes and then in overtime or something crazy like that. But going back to my picks here, that overtime thing is not a pick. So, but if you're interested in that, it's plus 900 the Westgate Superbook if you're out here in Vegas, or you're lucky enough to have their app in one of the states where they're live. They're not live in Pennsylvania. The app that I have is only available in Nevada. Now, the first turnover, I have interception at minus 155. I don't usually do stuff like that, but I sense an interception from Brock Purdy sometime during this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mahomes throws an interception, because he threw 2 interceptions the last time these teams played in the Super Bowl 4 years ago. So that will be my thought on there. Just looking here. I'm tempted. Now, a couple of years ago when the Rams played Cincinnati, I was on having more than 2 players throwing a pass. And the reason why I was 3 years ago was because I said, "Oh, Johnny Hecker is with the Rams. He's going to throw he's going to throw a pass. They're going to do a fake punt." Here, what happened was it was Joe Mixon throwing a pass on a halfback option play. But that is a play that I'm not going to give to you guys. But if you're of the thinking that some trick play is going to happen, that is at plus 145 at Westgate. I'm not playing that. I'll give you a rundown of what I'm going after here on this episode here. So I am not going to look at that. And I'm just going through this whole book here just to see what's going on here. And the one thing is, consult your apps, consult your web pages, wherever you wager or how you wager, because you may have something a little bit different. I mean, and the books may even change the odds and the criterion that's involved here. So you may even get that too. So I may say, like, for example, total receiving yards for Kyle Juszczyk is at 3.5. It may be 4.5 at your sports book. It may be 2.5. It may just be 3 or 4. You know, things do change, and unfortunately, they didn't note when this was last updated. So, we'll see. But I made a note here. Total number of different 49ers have a possession, pass reception. Over is plus 130, over 6.5. I'm not touching that, but I made a note about that. One I do have here, and I'm tailing Brandon Lang, who was on with Tony Bruno on Wednesday's show, and he was a laugh. And, you know, I laughed so much between Brandon Lang saying all the stuff that he said and dropping F-bombs and stuff like that. And by the way, the Tony Bruno Sports Network, they're not regulated by the FCC because they are a digital property. So, you know, you can drop F-bombs all you want. You know, Tony doesn't want to do it, and, you know, he doesn't really want the thing there. But, you know, if it goes to that route, it does. But, you know, like me with this podcast, I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. And when I start doing podcasts with Angel Martinez on Broad Street South, there's going to be the first hour, which is going to be clean as can be. And then the second hour, we go blue. So, but one play I am going to play is Isaiah Pacheco over 66.5 yards. Brandon Lang, who won me a shit ton of money, and there I go cursing. He's on Isaiah Pacheco over 66.5 yards rushing. I'm tailing him on that. Just to let you guys know, back in 2009, I was in a handicapping contest, which is similar to the Westgate Superbook Super Contest. I won back in 2009 the version of it that is modeled after the Westgate Superbooks Super Contest, and I won a shit ton of money that year, mainly because Brandon Lang used to be his infomercial, so to speak, his 2-3 minute infomercial at the end of the show. Every Friday, I'd be sitting there. Oh, Eagles, Rams, Niners, and he has a couple of college games. So I got to figure out what to do with those other 2 picks. And I ended up getting 49 wins. I ended up winning it all. And so I'm channeling Brandon Lang there with that pick. So over 66.5 at minus 110. Just looking here, see if there's anything that I'd like here. And I'm probably going to review this later on as well, just for personal stuff here. But, these are the most important ones that I want to get out there to you guys here. And, they're not life-changing wagers. But, if you're looking to get a couple of extra dollars here or there, maybe I can help you. And, maybe you fade the crap out of me. That's why we call this the Philly Phade. I'm just looking here. Like some of the things that they have on here as well. Like, I was telling you about the legalese that's on here. And, like, for example, if you play baseball future wagers, because, you're going to get to the point now where you're going to get win totals for baseball, for example, in a little bit. Like in baseball, a lot of books, they got to play 160 of the 162 games for the bet to be action. If something were to happen that this game doesn't get played, and we know it ain't going to happen. But, the way things are in this world, you never know. And hopefully that doesn't get me into trouble for speculating that something is going to happen. Because let me tell you something, I have no insiders. I'm not that type of a person. And, the game's got to be played by August 1st, 2024 for all wagers, including props, to be considered action. So just little things there. My MVP, I'm going with Isaiah Pacheco at 30-1. That's going to be my pick for the Super Bowl MVP. And if you can guess, I am tailing Brandon Lang, and he's going with Kansas City for the sole purpose of San Francisco should not be here. It should be Detroit. And I agree with him because guess what? And maybe Dan Campbell will learn from this, and maybe he's going to still be the football version of Gabe Kapler and still run analytics and not use common sense, because you kick a field goal when it was 24-10. It's 27-10. You're up 3 possessions. And I think in some ways there, you stop the momentum a little bit. Now, it's like putting your finger in the dam when it's about ready to explode water. And San Francisco, they got back into the game because of the Lions, and they came back against Green Bay. They probably should have lost to Green Bay as well. But either way, San Francisco is a 2.5-point favorite, at least when this was printed, whenever this was printed. I'm going Kansas City money line. It's 115 on my sheet here. So Kansas City 115 plus 115 is my play for 1 unit on here. And some of the other plays that I mentioned on here, shortest touchdown over 1.5 yards at plus 140. First turnover will be an interception. I'm going through the 42 pages that this is. Isaiah Pacheco over 66.5 yards rushing at minus 110. First turnovers and interception, that was minus 155 in case I skipped that. Isaiah Pacheco, the MVP at plus 25 to 1. I just think that 4 years ago that Mahomes should not have been the MVP. It should have been the running back who was never seen again. I think he should have been the MVP with 2 late touchdowns, but I'm going with Isaiah Pacheco. I think he might have 3. He might have a couple of touchdowns in this game. So that is going to be it here, I believe. Yes, it will. Okay, so that's going to be it for now. So do want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen and watch this. Listen wherever you get podcasts. Watch on YouTube. No stream on Tuesday night. I'm still here in Vegas. So I'm aiming for Thursday night. I should be home early enough where I can get myself acclimated to being home and to East Coast time, where I'm trying to still live on East Coast time here while I'm in Vegas. That's why I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning when I'm here. It's probably the other reason why I didn't go to the party last night. But that's it for now. Do want to thank you all for joining me, and I will catch you Thursday on Twitch, and I will catch you on Twitter, Instagram at Joe Quills, and the several Discords that I'm on. Have a great night, great day, great night, everybody. Enjoy the game. Hope you guys make some money, and see you when I get back from Vegas.